What's going on, everyone? This is Eric coming at you from outside of Hartford, Connecticut for Heartland Sports, and today we will be discussing the Yasiel Puig trade. As mentioned in a previous video, this trade occurred on December 21st, 2018. Normally, I don't do recent trades within the past year, and you will see why in this video. So the original premise of the trade, it was just a two-team trade between the Cincinnati Reds and the Los Angeles Dodgers. So the Reds would acquire outfielder Yasiel Puig, outfielder Matt Kemp, starting pitcher, which is what he served for in Cincinnati, Alex Wood, and third baseman Kyle Farmer. Now, Alex Wood, when I mentioned him in a previous video for the Dodgers, I mentioned him as a pitcher. That's because they used him as both starter and bullpen. In Cincinnati, he was just a starter. In return, the Dodgers acquired starting pitcher Homer Bailey, shortstop Jeter Downs, and pitcher Josiah Gray. So how did this work out? We'll start with the Dodgers for this one. So Homer Bailey, he ends up getting released the day he's acquired, so he does absolutely nothing. He was more of a salary dump for the Reds. And Jeter Downs, so Jeter Downs spends a year in the minors for the Dodgers, and he ends up getting traded in the Mookie Betts trade in the 2019-2020 offseason. That trade will not be discussed here. Everyone would have a 0.0 WAR, so it's not worth it. Hindsight says the Dodgers win that trade by getting Mookie Betts, but then David Price opted out. So I just don't want to get into that today. It's too early, way too early. And Josiah Gray, he's a minor league baseball player, obviously, and he's actually considered to be one of LA's top pitching prospects, but they also don't have a very, very strong farm system. Again, as an outsider looking in. So how did the Reds do? Well, we'll get to Puig in a second. Matt Kemp, he struggled in a little over a month for the Reds before he got cut. Obviously, he didn't do that hot. Alex Wood would make 7 starts for the team, and he didn't play all that well. Specifically, he was dealing with a back injury, and then he would walk in free agency. He actually returned to the Dodgers. It was a little bit of a slap in the face to the Reds. And Kyle Farmer, he's played well in limited plate appearances for the Reds. Now, how did Yasiel Puig do? Well, Puig played well in the first half of the season, and he actually played a major role in 2 brawls, and he actually got in a brawl the day he was traded to the Cleveland MLB team. So he was solid, just not the typical Yasiel Puig we've seen. So how did this trade go? Well, Cincinnati would acquire starting pitcher Trevor Bauer. San Diego would acquire outfielder Taylor Trammell, and the Cleveland team would acquire outfielders Yasiel Puig and pitcher Scott Moss from the Reds, while acquiring outfielder Franmil Reyes, pitcher Logan Allen, and utility man Victor Nova from the Padres. How did this trade work out for these 3 teams? Well, Trevor Bauer didn't necessarily play that well. He struggled with command in his 2 months in Cincinnati. So he's done better in 2020 at the time of this recording, but still struggles with command, which is why Cleveland was willing to part with him. Cleveland, Yasiel Puig had a solid 2 months, nothing spectacular, but solid, before hitting free agency, where he still sits to date. He had a quick stint with the Braves, but didn't sign a contract, and ended up having COVID, so they didn't sign him. Scott Moss, I'm going to group a couple of these guys together. Scott Moss and Victor Nova, both still minor league players, haven't made the big leagues for Cleveland. And Logan Allen has literally appeared in 1 game for Cleveland, and Franmil Reyes is a power-heavy batter who hasn't played all that much. It's too soon to tell for any of these guys. And last but not least, San Diego acquired Taylor Trammell, who, for the most part, is still a minor leaguer. So that's why I don't like doing these early trades, because if you look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys, well, 5 guys have yet to appear in the majors. So that's why I don't like doing these early trades, recent trades. But how did this go, all things considered? Which team would win this trade? Believe it or not, the LA Dodgers, despite getting a bunch of zeros, are the technical winners of this trade if you go by WAR. They had a 0.0 WAR. The Cincinnati Reds, at this moment, have a WAR of negative 0.2. That's because Trevor Bauer, Matt Kemp, and Alex Wood, their negative contributions or lack thereof outweigh the positives of Puig and Farmer. Again, that can change, that will change. Cleveland actually has the best WAR of everybody with a .6 WAR, and San Diego 0.0. There are guys yet to play. San Diego, they're technically, if you want to include who they traded, they're at a negative .2, but yeah, that's the Yasiel Puig video. This is one that's been kind of discussed a little bit beforehand. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great rest of your day.